Well, God bless you. I want to talk a little bit about knowledge and the concept of knowledge in the Bible. And really what we're talking about is the knowledge of truth. Now, truth in its simplest form is simply expressing what is really real. What is really true? And so truth is inviolate, it's objective, it's not based on your opinion or mine. It is beyond us, it's transcendent. Unfortunately, in our world, we don't really have a lot of people who believe in such a thing as truth. Truth in our day and time, according to our philosophies, is something that we invent. We socially construct it, is the term that's often used. And so there really isn't a real belief in truth. And it reminds me a little bit of, I think it's John 18, when Jesus Christ was standing with Pilate. He's standing there really beat up, and Pilate's talking to him. And Pilate looks at him and says, "So I hear you're a king." And Jesus Christ says, "Well, yeah, you say I'm a king." He says, "I'll tell you what, I came here to proclaim the truth. It was for this purpose that I was born and came into the world, to proclaim the truth." And Pilate's response was very similar to what we would get today. Well, what is truth? Well, I'll tell you what truth is. Truth is something that God has bestowed upon us. He has given it to us and revealed it to us. And it's so important to him that he says in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 4, he says, "I desire," and in the Greek, that's a white-hot desire. That's a passionate desire, that all people be saved and come to a knowledge of the truth. Not just saved, but salvation, wholeness is coupled with a knowledge of what is true. And what is true is the same thing Jesus Christ was referring to. He came to declare the truth regarding God and regarding what is really real about our Creator and what He has done in the past, what He is doing today, and what He will do in the future, and how that affects our lives. Our seeking for that knowledge of the truth that God desires us to have is really our seeking for ourselves, seeking for our purpose. And when we don't have a knowledge of the truth, it doesn't go well for us. In Hosea, it says, "My people," God's people, "are destroyed or ruined for a lack of knowledge." So let's at least accept the fact that it's important, and God greatly desires us for us to come to a knowledge of the truth. Now, standing in the way of that is the obstacle of the world. A world that is run, as Jesus called him, by the father of lies. He lies out of his own character, Jesus Christ said, because he was a liar from the beginning, and he's the father of lies. And this liar, this power of darkness, has permeated the world with philosophies of deceit. In Colossians, it says that, "Beware that you be led captive by the philosophies of deceit," the philosophies of the world. One of those philosophies in our world is that the only thing that's really true are things that are made of solid things, of atoms, molecules, physical things. The things that you can see are the only things that are true. The reality is, as God put it in 2 Corinthians 4, he says that the things that are seen are temporal. The things that are unseen, those are the things that are eternal, meaning they have truth that goes way beyond the temporal time. These are the eternally true things that we are to seek out and to understand. And that word knowledge of the truth, by the way, that God desires us to have, is not a head knowledge. It is a relational, experiential knowledge. When Mary was informed by God that she was about to have a baby, she said, "How is this possible, in that I know not a man?" Now, she knew a man. She knew her father. She knew Joseph, her husband. She knew many of men. But what she didn't have was an experience of a relationship with a man that is specific to having a baby. That she had no knowledge of. And so she said, "I know not a man." In the same way, we are to have an experiential, relational knowledge of the truth, not just a head knowledge. We're not supposed to just be able to do a great word study on how God is love or He loves us. We are to have an authoritative ability to preach that out because we know it. We've experienced it. And that's why He desires us to have that experiential knowledge of the truth. And He will not hold back on it. He has promised that He will reveal that truth to us. In Ephesians, there's a great prayer that the eyes of my heart be enlightened, that I would know what is the hope of his calling, etc. His desire to give us the truth is so great that when Jesus Christ said that I'm leaving and I'm going to go away, he said, but I'm going to send you the Spirit of truth. And that Spirit of truth would guide you into all truth. God is so desirous of us that he wants us to have this knowledge of the truth, that he has done everything he can to bring that and make that accessible to us. We can access truth, and that is super important for believers to understand today. We do not have to be tossed to and fro, carried about by every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and the cunning craftiness whereby they lie in wait to deceive, as it says in Ephesians 4. No, we don't have to be that way. We don't have to be stymied by the things that we hear in the philosophies of the world and the things that go around us. We don't have to wonder, well, what is true? We can absolutely know and have a knowledge that's relational and experiential of the truth. And when Christ said that he would send us the Spirit of truth that would guide us into all truth, he wasn't lying. He was telling us the truth. That is the reality that we have. Now, what is our move to get that? We are simply to ask. When James said, you have not because you ask not, it was true. God does not steamroll us. He is ready and waiting for us to seek and to knock and to ask, as it says in the Gospels. If you will do that, Jesus Christ will open the door and he will reveal to your heart the truths you need to know. And with that great truth, as it says in Ephesians 4, that we can become the truth, and not just speaking the truth in love, we can be the truth in love, and by that we can grow up into the head in all things into Christ, and we can be transformed into, by the renewing our minds with that truth, we can be transformed into his image. And that is why we want to know the wonderful word and truth of God. God bless you.